Hmm? Is that it? Good morning. My name is Pat Malarkey, and it is my privilege to serve as your worship associate this morning. For visual accessibility, I'm a tallish, stout, white woman with short brown hair that is going gray. I'm wearing a black turtleneck and a maroon cardigan. On behalf of First Unitarian Church of Wilmington, welcome to our hybrid service. If you are new to First U and are here in the sanctuary, I invite you to fill out a connection card and drop it in the offering that will be passed around later in the service. If you are joining us online, there is a link in the chat that will take you to an online version of the form. First Unitarian Church of Wilmington is a welcoming congregation. No matter who you are, no matter where you're coming from, no matter where you're going to, you are welcome here in this sacred space. Let's welcome those attending online into this space by turning to the camera on the left and waving hello. Now, please welcome those around you. We have a guest in our pulpit today. I am pleased to introduce Rev. Christe Lunsford, who serves as the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Society of Mill Creek, Delaware. Their ministry is rooted in a deep commitment to collective liberation and centers anti-racism, anti-oppression, and radical love. A non-binary trans-masculine person, Christe brings an awareness of both privilege and marginalization, striving to lift up voices from the margins in worship, music, education, and justice work. They believe the most powerful way to transform the world is by living authentically and transparently. Christe serves the wider Unitarian Universalist faith through the UUA Appointments Committee, UU Ministers Association, Trans and Non-Binary Chapter Leadership, the Advocates for Congregational Life Concerns, and as a Breaking Barriers, Building Beliefs facilitator. They live in Bear, Delaware, with their partner and their dog, Blue. And now let us prepare our hearts and minds for worship.
We are all bound up together. We are all bound up together in one great bundle of humanity. 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 We are all bound up together. 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 We are all bound up together.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Christe Lunsford. I am a person of European descent with a beard that is mostly gray these days and a hairline that's beginning to tell its own story. I wear reading glasses most of the time. They are always blue. They may not always be the same pair, but they're always blue. And I use they, them pronouns, identifying as a trans, non-binary UU minister. For you, what that means is practice with me. Practice with me, not with your young ones that are among you. I can have a conversation that is fuller about what that identity means, not just in the world, but personally and on personal levels for each of us. I was raised on the borderlands between North and South, the sacred hunting grounds of the Shawnee, known as Kentucky. I do serve very close here at the UU Society of Mill Creek. And I want to begin this morning by asking your ministerial search team to rise. They didn't know this was going to happen. Can we thank them for the work they're doing? Thank you all. These folks have had countless emails and surveys and meetings. They have worked with care, and that work is often unseen. And in the near future, they're going to go into their little cocoon where they start looking at what the possibilities are, who's out there and who is interested, and who they might speak to. It's holy work, rooted in love for this congregation and hope for its future. So I told them I would maybe try to do this. I would encourage you during the opening hymn to maybe fill this front row, fill this section here, so that when visitors, you can do it now. You can do it now. If you're comfortable doing it now, please do it now. So that when visitors and people coming in later, not knowing what time you begin, that there is space for them that isn't scary. The front row is scary for new people, right? So you want to leave space for them to find room. And I would challenge you in weeks to come to not sit where you've always sat. Switch sides. Change your perspective. This is how we embrace a growing congregation. So this morning, as we settle in and really ground ourselves, I want to share with you the words by Marge Piercy, known as "to be of use." See if you can hear yourself in them. The people I love best jump into work head first without dallowing in the shallows or swimming off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of the element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals or field deserters, but move the common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire must be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands and crumbles into dust. But the thing worth doing well done has shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums. But you know, they were made to be of use. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. May it be so.
If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to join me by lighting it as we light our chalice here in this sanctuary. Our chalice lighting this morning is A Wild and Holy Vision by Sean Gibson. We light our chalice in the spirit of transformation. Nothing stays the same. Everything moving, shifting, changing. Guide us all to a wild and holy vision of our shared humanity. Please rise in body. Whoop, I am so sorry. Rev Larry has something he needs to say.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Larry Piers, minister here at the First Unitarian Church of Wilmington. And I have the joy of being your minister until July 30th, 2026. Thank you, Reverend Christe, for being here today and for leading the workshop yesterday for the congregation. So, for those who have not yet heard, I have to announce the passing of our dear friend and cherished member, Judy Gavados, this past Friday, just a few days after being admitted into hospice care. I've had an initial conversation with the family, and we're going to be meeting tomorrow to plan the celebration of life. It most likely will take place on Monday, November 24th, here at First Unitarian Church of Wilmington. We will confirm the details, including the time, in the e-newsletter and in the obituary. It was just a few weeks ago, it seems, that when Judy came up to make an announcement about a film, she couldn't help herself but offer a lot of gratitude for what this congregation has meant to her. It was a spontaneous expression of deep gratitude for this church. And indeed, Judy gave so much to this congregation in so many ways over the years. She truly lived her Buddhist conviction of interbeing. And many of us, one way or another, were intertwined, interconnected with her life. We drew courage and strength from her convictions and her advocacy in the world. As is our custom, I will light this candle in a moment in memory of Judy Gavados, and we will pause to reflect on the warmth of her life, the presence of her light that lives within and among us in the cherished memories that we hold so dear. Her memory continues to be a blessing to us. At a service that Judy did about a year ago, a little over a year ago, she offered this song that was her favorite, one of her favorites, that has the verse, "This love will carry me. This love will carry me. I know this love will carry me." So let us continue to carry that love forward in our lives. So may it be. Amen.
Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 23, Bring Many Names. And please remain standing after the hymn for our unison affirmation. Please join me in affirming our mission. First Unitarian Church of Wilmington is a beloved community that nourishes minds and spirits, fights injustice, and transforms the world through loving action.
For our moment for all ages, notice I said moment for all ages. Right? We have a video we're going to show you, but I want to take you back to a time when you were feeling youthful, maybe. That could have been yesterday. And you went out for a walk and you walked past those tall grasses. I noticed some just out next door, those really tall, beautiful blowing grasses, and you picked one, just a blade. How easy it was to pick. Maybe you went farther and you picked a couple. Because one can be broken so easily. But if you take 2 or 3 and you start to weave them together, it becomes stronger. That's what we do in community. And I want to show you that it takes very little resource and very little of our time to do great things.
The Quechua-Chaca Bridge in Peru is rebuilt every year using traditional Inca engineering techniques by the local communities on either side of the canyon. This bridge has been continually rebuilt in the same location since the time of the Incas. The entire bridge is built in only 3 days. To construct the bridge, grass called coyo is harvested and then prepared to be woven into large cables, beginning with small cord, which is twisted together from the local grass. These cords are then twisted to form a larger rope, and the ropes are then braided to create the main cable. Up on the highway, the community works together to pull these ropes to stretch them out. These ropes are woven and twisted. Each rope is made from 30 of the small cords, and then 3 of these ropes are braided to form the cables that will support the bridge. After more stretching, the cables are then carried down to where the bridge will be installed. The old bridge is used to run the first cable across for what will become the new bridge. And then the old bridge is cut down and it falls into the water and is washed away by the river. All day long, the community pulls on the new cables to prepare them for the bridge. These supporting cables are anchored to the stone abutments on either side of the canyon. Victoriano Arizapana is the architect of the bridge, and he uses traditional methods which have been handed down in his family for centuries.
Trabajito que mi papá me ha puesto, he empezado desde los 12 añitos. En eso tanque puente que se va a chacata no ka munakone. O sea, wawa tahena vestita munani.
The structure of the bridge is made with 4 cables for the floor and 2 handrails. The bridge weaving begins in the morning with Victoriano weaving from one side and another worker weaving from the other side until they meet in the center of the bridge. When the bridge is finally finished, the communities come together to celebrate. The structure is remarkably safe. It has been built for centuries in this way and can hold dozens of people at any one time.
Our prayer this morning, Changed and Held in Love, was written by Melissa Jeter. We are grateful to be in the presence of one another. We are grateful for the affirmation that being together in this community brings. Let us have hearts open with humility. Let us find our way mindful that there is an abundance from which we can draw water, the peace of all peace that comes not without struggle or wrestling with the ways of scarcity and individualism in the world. Let us find ways to destruct injustice. Let us find ways to accept one another while preserving our hearts. Let us go beyond thinking and suspend all judgment. May we be changed and held in love. May we recognize and receive grace, for none of us alone has the answer. So be it. I invite us all into a moment of shared silence. As Reverend Larry has been doing for a while now, I light a candle for all those concerns we share in common. for the wars that continue to wage, for the injustice being done by our own government and the fear that it's causing us, our neighbors, and our friends. And now is a time in the service where we lift up our concerns and our joys to honor what has shaped our lives since we were last together. And we can start over here. Excellent. Rescued 2 cats. Joy that needs to come out right now. Yes. Here? Concerns? For your father. And over here, concerns? Grandson with her. And joys? For family? Yes. Ah, must be the grandson. All right. Over here? High school entrance exam, and let's send good vibes. Over here? Dale? Okay. All right, thank you so much. Our lives are a sacrament. We honor these joys and concerns and those that remain unspoken in the heart of our community.
For our hymn this morning, our reflective hymn, we're going to reflect on not just the joys and sorrows, but the tension that can create and the beauty that we can build together, like you saw in the video, with very little resource, but just being a community together, holding each other. So we're going to sing hymn number 1023, which is Building Bridges. We will sing it one time in unison, and then we're going to divide the room, kind of choose which half you want to be on here. One half here and one half here, and Cindy's going to sing with me, and we will split it into a round where we will sing it 3 times as the round until Cindy and I come together at the end. So please rise and body your spirit as you are so moved. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
I'm relatively new to First U, so most of you probably don't know that I have a favorite Unitarian, the transcendentalist Margaret Fuller. She lived only 40 years, but accomplished so much. She led salons in Boston, was the editor of the transcendentalist magazine, The Dial, and later became a reporter for Horace Greeley's New York Tribune. In fact, she became the first female war correspondent when she found herself in the middle of the Italian Revolution. In 1845, 3 years before the Seneca Falls Convention, Greeley's firm published her book, Woman in the 19th Century. In it, she wrote, "We would have every arbitrary barrier thrown down. We would have every path laid open to woman as freely as to man." Fuller's words are as important today as they were the day she wrote them. Hers was a call to throw down every barrier and lay open every path. Just yesterday, many of us took part in the Break Barriers, Build Beliefs workshop here at First U. In the coming year, we'll continue the work of transformation together in community with love and respect. 180 years after Woman in the 19th Century was published, we are still called to throw down barriers, to build belief that every path is open, to affirm our commitment to welcome all who walk through these doors. This work takes love, it takes commitment, it takes generosity. Please support the work of this beloved community. The ways you can contribute will be shown on the screen during the offertory. Please join me in dedicating our offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives and these, our offerings. We have a couple of announcements this morning. I'd like to invite Nancy Pinson up to talk about talents, interests, and availability.
Thanks, Pat. I'm Nancy Pinson, as Pat said, and I'm honored to be a volunteer member of your executive team, working with Reverend Larry and our business manager, Hannah, and fellow volunteer Linda Sanders. So one of our goals for this year is to provide ways for you to connect in meaningful ways. So some of you have already done this, but in the parish hall, we have a survey. You'll find us with the orange cloth and the apples, because apples are your prize for filling out our survey. And the survey asks you for your talents, of which there are many, your interests, which also are many, and also your availability, so that we can help you to find meaningful connections. So I hope to see you after the service. Thank you to all of you who have already filled out the survey. Several came in this morning, so I'm on the lookout for them. Thanks.
And now Julia has a word about UUSC.
Hello, I'm Julia Diebold. I have been a member of First U for about 10 years, and I want to share with you why I support equal exchange and UUSC. I can safely say that I am a fan of equal exchange products. In a year, I buy about 10 cases of tea, and then throughout the year, I buy more tea, chocolate, olive oil, dates, and coffee. I'm also a fan of their mission to support family farmers and a more democratic supply chain. Just as the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee collaborates with grassroots movements and communities, Equal Exchange forms partnerships to support small-scale farmers that grow coffee, tea, and other food products. They help the farmers and their families gain more control over their economic futures, and they educate farmers in sustainable organic farming practices. Equal Exchange established itself in 1986 as a social change organization with their introduction of coffee from Nicaragua to the U.S. consumer. Just 5 years later, their sales broke 1 million. Then 11 years later, in 2002, their sales reached 50 million. Their milestones are so much more than a dollar amount. When Equal Exchange introduced their hot cocoa mix, it was the first cocoa product to carry the Fair Trade certified seal in the United States. Soon after, they built a larger, worker-owned coffee roasting operation in the United States. As Equal Exchange approaches their 40th anniversary, they are bringing fair trade home by fostering direct relationship with family farmers here in the United States. First U is a partner with Equal Exchange as part of their interfaith partnership. Customers that purchase Equal Exchange products are supporting values of social justice, economic justice, and environmental justice. I find it uplifting that I can drink my morning tea knowing that tea farmers have a partnership with an organization that recognizes their inherent dignity and worth. Most Sunday mornings after services, you can find Steve Merrick in the parish hall at the Equal Exchange display of tea, coffee, chocolates, and more, all for sale. I encourage you to check out the products. You may find that you start out buying one here and there, as I did, and end up with a lot of packages of Equal Exchange marked products in your kitchen. I believe Steve is probably not in the congregation because he's generally with the, is in the youth group or setting up the coffee and tea, listening to the service. I want to say thank you to Steve and for all his work that he's done over the 20 years or more, just standing behind a table and chatting with people and explaining the products. There's also a table set up with information about programs of the UUSC. What you might notice first, though, are bottles of honey. The honey is for sale, with the proceeds being donated to the UUSC by beekeepers Doyle Dobbins, Susan Boyce, and Kevin Stone. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Our reading this morning is the poem Songs for the People by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. Let me make the songs for the people, songs for the old and young, songs to stir like a battle cry wherever they are sung, not for the clashing of sabers, for carnage nor for strife, but songs to thrill the hearts of all with more abundant life. Let me make the songs for the weary amid life's fever and fret, till hearts shall relax their tension and careworn brows forget. Let me sing for little children before their footsteps stray, sweet anthems of love and duty to float o'er life's highway. I would sing for the poor and aged when shadows dim their sight, of the bright and restful mansions where there shall be no night. Our world, so worn and weary, needs music, pure and strong, to hush the jangle and discords of sorrow, pain, and wrong. Music to soothe all its sorrow, till war and crime shall cease, and the hearts of all grown tender, girdle the world with peace.
I understand that this congregation is in search. This is a wonderful thing. I am also a participatory minister, so I'm going to ask you to do some hand raising and to kind of answer some questions for me. So first, by raising your hand if possible, can you tell me how many of you actually participated in a cottage meeting with the search team? Okay. How many of you, perhaps lovingly, cornered a member of the search team in coffee hour or during another committee meeting, or maybe even invited them out to lunch for the inside scoop and to put in your plea? How many of you did that? Come on, be honest. Be honest. Okay, there's my honest folks, right? At least take them to lunch, folks. At least take them to lunch. So how many of you heard about the congregational survey, Breaking Barriers, Building Beliefs, and the workshop that was followed yesterday, basically? That's a good plenty of you. Good. This is fabulous. So yesterday, about 30 or so, we had some folks online, and so I don't have a really accurate count, but about 30 of you gathered with me in your social hall to do a deep dive into transformational work, exploring who you are and what you value and what kind of ministry might move you forward. And while there was some laughter and some questions and maybe a little exhaustion in the room because it is a heavy lift, what happens there in that room is sacred work. Because this process is sacred work. The kind that has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Work that demands clarity and courage and honesty, brutal honesty. And often it takes time to digest and live into our learnings as a community. So yesterday was the planting of seeds. For those folks who were present, will now carry that information out and have more conversation into the community. And yet, as I stand here, I do imagine some of you are wondering why this person and why are they here, and haven't we done enough of these surveys and workshops and meetings by now? Can't we just get on with it? And I get that. You as a community have done a lot of work. And there's a lot of work that the search team still has yet to do. But when I say this is a sacred moment, what I'm saying is that you are tending soil that you are to be cultivating, not just the last year or two, but you've been cultivating for many, many years to grow into something new. This time is about reflecting on that, honoring your past, and honestly saying what is growing, what is healthy, what still needs light and water and care to grow. And so I want to be really clear with you all. I am not here representing the UUA in Boston, nor am I here to tell you who to choose for your next minister. I'm here as, yes, a minister, but I'm a part of a diverse group of Unitarian Universalists, both lay people and ministers, who volunteer to do this work, to submerge in the task, as Percy would say, because we feel the importance. We are dedicated to the saving faith that we all call Unitarian Universalism. So I'm not here on behalf of the UUA, I'm not here in behalf of the region, and I'm not here in behalf of your search team. Rather, I'm here to be honest and open avenues of resources and provide space for reflection. And you might say that's for your leadership, but really, it's for all of you. I'm here to help you listen once again to your own story, to your covenant, to the song of your congregation that you're still learning to sing. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper once wrote that her hope was to sing songs of the people, songs that stir like a battle cry, songs to soothe the heart of all with more love than hate and wrong. That's the essence of this process, finding your song again. Singing a faith that stirs and soothes, a faith that resists despair and calls forth courage, a faith that dares to sing even when your voice shakes. So I want to be clear that the Breaking Barriers, Building Beliefs process isn't just about calling a minister. It's about calling yourselves back into covenant, to promises that define you, who you are, and who you are still becoming. It invites you to notice the habits that you hold you back, those assumptions that creep in unnoticed, the subtle ways that bias and fear shape how you imagine your leadership belonging, even as congregants, and even how you share your love. This is not a judgment, it's truth-telling. Every congregation, every person carries both aspiration and apprehension, inclusion and inertia. Here, you have clearly shown some growing edges in the survey. They sing out with unmistakable voice of a congregation that is standing on a threshold of the next becoming. And the truth is, there were 5 very clear things that came forward in the survey. I intentionally do not engage with my colleague. I intentionally do not pull things from the region. I only look at what is given and how I'm experienced coming in the room. what I've experienced is a community that has a spirit that's hungry for clarity. Clarity on how decisions are made, how conflict is held, how accountability is practiced, where the structure is strong enough to hold the values and tender enough to sustain trust. It's a holy hunger. It asks that clarity and cohesion be put forward of a stumbling confusion that the newcomer might feel in finding their place, because they're not invited into the community. It also tells me that you're ready for justice work, not just as this extracurricular activity, but as spiritual formation. That might look like justice work woven into worship, which you have much already in place, but also into meetings and gatherings, so that it spills into your daily rhythm of life and how you express your faith in the world. Seeing that justice is not performative, but transformative. Justice that changes you as much as it changes the world. The question before you is whether you can welcome and stretch. There's this internal desire to support your call to widening the circle of belonging beyond what is comfortable, to learn the language around neurodiversity, or as I like to call it, neurospicy. We don't fit in boxes neatly. To understand mental health and disability as human truth rather than quiet secrets. To honor fatness and caregiving as part of the sacred diversity of bodies and lives lived. And there was this whisper within the survey that undergirded all of it, that you already know that microaggressions are true and they happen here. And not everyone feels them or sees them. But sometimes those that do don't return. And that's a tender truth. It's important that you name it. Now it's important that you not turn away, knowing that you are fallible and you can learn to do better. You are seeking ways to grow. You're beginning to cultivate a courage to interrupt harm and to practice repair and to grow in love. Again, it's not condemnation. It's an invitation to lean in. This is the time that you actually scoot forward in your seat and lean in to what is uncomfortable. Your hearts are open, maybe trembling, but ready to fully embrace diversity in ministerial leadership, even when there's uncertainty, even when the neutrality masks the discomfort. There is this deep longing to welcome a minister whose very being invites you into spiritual growth. A minister whose identity might stretch you and shape you and support you and help you understand beloved community. Don't see this as a failure. This is a readiness. Let it encourage you. Let it bring forward what the mirror has been already showing you and some are aware of. Don't look away. Take root. To break those barriers. To build different beliefs, because those are not two separate things. They are one spiritual practice. the work of liberation, the work of covenant, the work of becoming the people your values already declare you to be. Friends, this is not about being perfect. None of us will ever be perfect. Perfection is a myth that kills the imagination. I'm asking you to imagine in a time where dreaming is hard. And so here's where I'm going to drop the F word into the room. One that you use shy away from. Not the one you're thinking. Faithful. You're being asked to be faithful, to stay at the table when it's uncomfortable, to hold the mirror up for yourselves and keep looking even when you don't like what you see or it makes you squirm. Because that discomfort, that's the holy ground of transformation. Harper sang songs to make the world anew, songs of hope that courage lends. Faithfulness is that song, the melody that steadies your breath when the work feels heavy, the harmony, your covenant. If we only love when it's easy to love, that's a shallow love. If we only welcome those who fit our expectations, our welcome stays small. And let's be truly honest, the world today needs us not to be small. It needs us to be as big and as bright as we can be. It calls us into a deeper love. That is our faith that holds tension, that risks vulnerability, and insists on truth even when it disrupts our peace. And it will disrupt our peace. We have a chaotic world. That disruption will be challenging when you bring it into the one sanctuary that you come to for peace. But we know there's no bridge without strain, no covenant without conflict. You wouldn't have one if there was. No community without confession. So let me be clear, as you call somebody to fill this pulpit, that person one day will come. They will not be perfect. They will not grant every wish or heal every wound or make everyone happy. But I promise you this, they will be human. They will bring their own story, their own calling, their own complexities, and they may not look like or sound like or move the way you expect a minister to. And that, my friends, is the grace of the calling. The invitation before you is to resist building a minister in your own image, but instead preparing a way to receive the minister who will move with you, beside you, authentically, a minister who can love you fiercely, and in doing so will challenge and hold you accountable to your highest values. It's tempting to reach for comfort, to choose the familiar, the easy, and the safe. But comfort has never been a goal in our faith. Our faith was born in resistance, from the courage of those who refused easy answers or narrow truths. Think of Joseph Priestley fleeing persecution, the Sharps rescuing lives in World War II, UU's marching on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and those who stood in the street in 2020 declaring Black Lives Matter. Our lineage is wholly discomfort. And so, we're called again to choose love that disrupts complacency, to build bridges that require us each to stretch, and to stay open when fear would have us close. You've put your faith in your search team, trusting them to bring a candidate who will meet you on your road. But in all honesty, that future doesn't begin when that minister arrives. It has already begun with you. Right now. You can't wait. You're already called to do the work of the world. Repair what is broken, teach your children, tend the grounds, organize for justice, and sing hope into being. Because UU congregations are mosaic makers, weavers of community, and carriers of faith. We can't wait for somebody to lead it when it's already alive. You're not searching for someone to do the ministry, but someone to join you in ministry. Breathe, beloveds. Stay brave, stay in the moment, keep telling the truth in love. Let discomfort be your teacher, and love be wide enough to hold your fear. Let your vision stretch beyond what is familiar. The work ahead is holy, messy, and real. And when you do it with open hearts, when you dare to be of use, as Piercy says, a shape that satisfies, where Harper reminds us to melt the crust of the heart so that you make the world anew. May this be your journey. May your search be a blessing. May the courage be contagious. And may the bridges you build be strong enough to carry us all. Amen. Ashe. May it be so. And blessed be.
Chalice extinguishing, okay. Our chalice extinguishing this morning is The Work We Share by Reverend Christe Lunsford. It is our work shared with each other in covenant that creates and sustains this beloved community. We extinguish this chalice, but its light lives on. In the directions we have chosen today, the light of this faith lives on in us together, in our hearts, minds, bodies, and spirits. Amen and blessed be.
I'm going to ask you to embody music this morning, if you hadn't already gotten that, with a hymn that's called This Joy. It has been part of UU communities and our UU musicians community, Tracy, for at least 10, 12 years, and yet we don't often sing it in congregations, right? So I'm going to share with you today. I will sing the first verse through, and then we're going to sing it again. It's a zipper song, so one word changes every time, right? I want you to sing it in your soul. I want you to dance down the aisles, right? I want you to embody it, to feel the joy that is here in this room. And I have some friends that are going to join me to get you started. So join in when you think you got the melody going, and then sing proudly. Please rise. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. We're going to do that again. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The The world didn't give it to me. Oh, this love that I have. The world didn't give it to me. This love that I had. No, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it. The world can't take it away. This peace that I have now. This peace that I have. The world didn't give it to me. Oh, this peace that I have. The world didn't give it to me. Hallelujah. This peace that I have. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it. The world can't take it away.
It can't.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Go in peace, beloveds. Have a blessed search.